going on, pro wrestling fans? Frisky117 back again, doing another review. This time it's going to be on CHIKARA Never Compromise, the actual show. I just posted a video. That was on the ending of Never Compromise. This is going to be the rest of the show. Opening match was actually Special Envoy versus County Extreme Force. Now, friends and family of mine know I'm a Special Envoy mark. That's how it is. Frightmare had a huge effect on me as a wrestling fan, as a inspiration. I'm not a big stature guy. He's not one either. So every time Special Envoy was involved, I'm game. But County Extreme Force is a great team. Don't get me wrong. I love County Extreme Force. I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's too many ants going on in CHIKARA right now. There's no such thing as that to me right now. For you people that are pro wrestling fans, but you don't follow CHIKARA, the ants, yeah, I know it's kind of crazy, but people love it. First things first in the match. I want a moon helmet, I want a jetpack, and I want a snowboard that lights up. These are three things that the Extreme Force have and helped win my heart over as fans. This is ridiculous, I know. But it was a good match. I really can't complain with the match at all. It wasn't nothing like to write home about, but for an opening contest, it was a pretty solid match. Extreme Force were focusing on Frightmare's mask again. I really don't know why. I don't know if it goes back to what happened at the end, because Extreme Force is part with Wink Valvasaur, and there's something going on that they don't want Frightmare and all of them involved. Because I mean, Mantis could possibly be involved in this as well. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they could be doing some dirty work. But it was a pretty solid match. They did have a grudge match on this night. Dasher Hatfield made a return. They go against another returning of Delirious. You haven't seen Delirious as much as I want to in CHIKARA. Delirious is a phenomenal wrestler in my mind. A guy who's worked his tail off to get where he is at right now. I love Delirious. Shadows over Hades, heck, whatever you want to call it. The unknown mentionable place. One of my favorite movies, professional wrestling. Him and Dasher had a pretty solid match. Delirious being out of his mind, Delirious as well. It was great to see Dasher back, but he did get outnumbered with Cabal helping out Delirious, which put the question in my head of where was Touchdown. No one saw Mr. Touchdown in sight. I understand he had a match in the pre-show, which I know I'm not going over, but he should have been there. But at the same time, he's Mr. Touchdown, so not surprised. This gets us to my next match, which is Omos and Ophidian. I know I'm jumping out of order, but this is the one that's really coming to me right now, and I really need to talk about this one. 30 minutes. 30 plus minutes in this match. And I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Omos and Ophidian, 30 minutes, they deserve this. In which they did. But they lost some fans in and out of this match. You could tell in the crowd. Like, they did it was called a sarcophagus match. Pretty much to the WWE style casket match. But here's part of the problem. At least for an internet viewer like myself who watched it at home, the ring was very well lit up. With the lighting, everything was great. But the entrance not so much, and they put the sarcophagus at the entrance. I know the Trocadero is not a big place, so you kind of had to do what you had to do. But it was not even lit up. Like, you'd see them battle back and forth the sarcophagus, and really for the viewers at home, you really didn't see anything. You saw kind of like a black blob moving around. So, I mean, it was an interesting kind of thing to see. But it was a great match. Out of what I saw, I mean, it did die out a couple of points in time, because they'd fight, and then they'd walk to the sarcophagus, which is a far-away walk, at least for a wrestling match like that. And then they would walk back, and then back to the sarcophagus, and then to the ring, and then back and forth. And it just got kind of annoying. It was kind of old. But you did see a story there. It was a good story. I mean, Omos and Ophidian go back a long time. Omos rips off the mask of Ophidian. That was an interesting moment, because under it was Omos's old mask. Now, I don't know what that truly means. I have an idea. I mean, I believe Ophidian might be under the power of the IF tier. It's believed that not Delirious is the only that was only in control of it. So maybe Ophidian is under the IF tier, and if so, maybe that was his way of saying, Moss, I'm still in here. Like, the original Ophidian is still here. So it was an interesting little tidbit right there at the end of it, of which then Amasis finally does put the end to it. The next match pretty much might be like my favorite match of the night. It's up there. This was the Colony versus the Devastation Corporation. I'm a huge fan of Devastation Corporation. Bacabella is hilarious as the manager of Devastation Corporation. I love it. And Flex Rumble Crunch might be the greatest professional wrestling name I've ever heard in my life. It really might be. I mean, there are some names, but Flex Rumble Crunch. Remember that. There were some great moments in this. A lot of high spot moments. Green Ant jumping off the top of the balcony again. Was it great? It was awesome. Seen it before, but I liked it again. Not as much as the first time. I mean, come on, it's face facts. It don't sound horrible, but yeah. There was a moment I got really concerned, and that was with the launching of Fire Ant to the outside of the ring, and where he almost ate him the guardrail. Like, it was almost remnants of the 3-team trio match with all the Young Lions Cup champions, and Hall Wicked and Eric Cannon launched Fire Ant over the guys, and his back landed square on the guardrail. And I was legit concerned about Fire Ant at that point. So that happened again. He didn't eat it as bad. They kind of caught him, but it's still pretty painful. But it was a great match also. I had no complaints about that match at all. It was definitely a match where, like, you saw they were hiding a lot. Guys, like, alright, these guys have some weaknesses, these guys have some weaknesses. So let's just kind of, let's hide them and just expose what we can do. Colony was a lot better at doing the high spots marks, which they did. Devastation Corporation, they were the kind of, we're going to powerhouse you, and they did that. They do it very well. Those are some big dudes. Like, I've seen them in person. I've stood next to one. They're big. Like, it's not just, and I know, like, Chikara's, like, they're not a big locker room, like, body-wise, but, like, these dudes are WWE built guys. At least the two of them. The other dude's, his gut's pretty big, but he still doesn't move like a big man like that. He still moves pretty fast. They're a good team. We had the intermission, and at intermission, I brought this up during my other video. Derek Sabato came into the ring. He decided to show off some papers. During these papers, we're showing off about the tighter conglomerate and Condor and Security, and how we should look into these guys who purchased Chikara and why they want Chikara. Security immediately rushed the ring and ripped out Sabato, and Link Valvasaur was not thrilled. Not thrilled at all. Why? Don't know. Check my other video. I have a couple opinions I express on there. That's the best I'm going to give on that one right now. Because I want to get to this. The next match was Gavin Loudspeaker versus Tim Donst. Hair versus hair. Tim Donst has a very bad record at the Trocadero. And it continued here. This shocks some people. Gavin showed up. He was in wrestling tights. He had the whole work going on, and he said he's been doing some work with some wrestlers, and it really showed. I mean, there was a point like Don's whipped him into the ring, and he gave him a Hall Wicked step up Hurricane Rana, and I was floored. I was like impressed, and it was pretty entertaining. Next you know, like Don's was beating him. I mean, he was straight up beating down. To quote Drake Younger, giving Gavin Loudspeaker a mollywhopping. Next you know, Jakob Hammermeyer finally gets in the ring. And, like, everybody in Chikara, like, I think everybody in the crowd knew. I thought I had an idea what was going to happen. And Donst was telling Gavin, giving Gavin on the top rope, he was going to finish Gavin off. And we're like, come on, Jakob. Like, we were really hoping for, come on, Jakob. And Jakob did what we all wanted. He gave him the haymaker. He knocked out Tim Donst. It was a heck of a punch. Gavin got up and hit the superplex, which massively impressed me. Straight up great props to Gavin Loudspeaker. He hits the superplex and gets the pinfall, and we get to see Tim Donst get his head shaved. Awesome. Second time I got to see that happen at Trocadero. I'm very happy with that. So I mean, Tim Donst, your record gets worse at the Trocadero, but I don't think he was concerned about that. He was like, all right, I'm mad, I lost, but he just moved on. So I think Tim Donst has some wordplay. Next match was for the Campeonatos de Parejas. I love saying that. 3.0, which is one of the greatest fan favorite tag teams from Canada. Versus Pieces of Hate, which is Jigsaw and the Shard. I love this team. The Shard is built like a spark plug. The dude is jacked. He has that build for professional wrestling. Jigsaw, as much as he gets booed, I like Jigsaw. I don't like Jigsaw's face when he has the mask off. Sorry. But I do like Jigsaw. It was a great match. You definitely kind of told a story throughout. Pieces of Hate were going to do whatever it took to win the match, and that really showed. They really would do anything it took. I really thought, I was wondering if they were going to make this Piece of Hate look strong and give them both pinfalls back to back, but I mean, with it being IPRV, I was not shocked when they went 1-1 apiece, and then they finally scored the final pinfall. Fans they were booing, but I don't think anybody was upset. I mean, I think people already knew they were a pretty dominant tag team. They've proved that they can be one. They're a great heel tag team. Who will take the titles off of them? I don't know. The tag division in Chikara is big right now. I mean, it can change any minute. We can have, Devastation Corporation come in and destroy them. Frightmare and Hobblick have never held a Campeonatos de Parejas together. Then you got the original Colony. I haven't seen Soldier in a while. Don't know what's going on with that. If somebody can let me know. Thanks. You get the Patiri, who I think still would deserve their shot. But we'll see what happens. All in all, it was a great show. As an pay-per-view, I think it could have been better. No offense, Chikara, still love you, but I think it could have been a little bit better. I give it probably a 7.5, maybe an 8 to be nice. It didn't hit it out of the park, but it was definitely a show that left people scratching their heads, and it changed professional wrestling in my mind. It changed professional wrestling. I know I gave it an 8. That ending changed professional wrestling for me. So, that's it for Frisky 117. Be doing a review here soon, or maybe a topic talk about something else. Just check back for more updates. Thanks, guys.